YouTube, it's me, I'm back again. I hope you guys are doing okay. I'm back today with a new laptop, which means new content, which means new music production videos, and that's exactly what I want to do today. Today I have a quick one for you people because the beat is already made, so I just want to guys walk you through it, show you how I got from this into this. And that's about it. Let's get it going, shall we? So, we out here in Ableton Live, and first things first, let me tell you how I started the beat. It all started with this sample, and the sample on its own sounds like this. Have a listen. Yeah, that's a beautiful sample, man. Yeah, that's about it for the sample. I've actually made a whole beat because of this sample, because I was supposed to do a different video regarding Kingsway music libraries. This is where I got the sample from, and I kind of wanted to talk about these libraries because I don't think too many people know about them. And I'll definitely do a whole new video about Kingsway music because these are, to me, hands down the best sample libraries that are available now online. I mean, like loops, you know. Anyways, I got the sample, and going from there, I mean, as you can tell, the sample is already so dope. All I had to kind of do is just to add a little bit of drums on the top and maybe like a nice bass, and that's pretty much it. But for the sample itself, what I did is I just added a sidechain compressor for the kick, so when the kick hits, the sample goes down. You know how the sidechain works. If you don't, go ahead and check it out for yourself on YouTube. I'm sure you can find like millions of videos about that. Anyways, moving forward, the compressor, which I usually don't use on any samples, but for some reason I did use it on this one with the gentle wide mastering preset. After I have this EQ8, which doesn't do anything to the sample in the beginning, but when the drums and bass comes in, it kind of cuts the lows and highs to keep just the mid-range of the sample. Filtering using some compression and some sidechain, and that's about it. And honestly, the sample was so dope I didn't have to do too much to it. So now we can talk about the drums a little bit. On a drum group, I'm always using Knock, which is a decaps plugin. If you don't know who Decap is, go check it out for yourself. Again, I'm not gonna go too deep into each plugin, like this we can save a little bit of time, okay? And yes, I always have Knock on the drum group because it literally makes your drums punchier, you know, so it sounds really good.
Fair enough.
So after I have this snare, it's the snare from Monte pack. It's called May snare, and to be honest, most of the samples are from Monte pack because I just love them so much, okay? So the sample with the snare would sound like this. Let me play it for you. Maybe it's a tiny bit too loud, but I'm just gonna keep it the way it is for now. After I'm adding a kick drum, which again is from Monte sample pack. It's a clink kick, and sample, kick and snare together would sound like this. You see how the sample ducks when the kick hits? That's what sidechain does, okay? Moving forward, I've added this hi-hat which plays this pattern. And this is interesting because I've added a halftime on it, otherwise it would sound like this. You see, it's twice as fast. And you might be wondering why I'm using halftime instead of putting the hi-hat on every second step, which would give the same kind of rhythmical speed to the hi-hat. It's because halftime, when you use it, it pitches the sample down and it kind of gives pretty unique and interesting texture to the hi-hat. That's why I prefer to do that over just kind of putting the hi-hat on every second step. You see what I mean? I hope you understand. Kinda groovy so far. After I'm adding another hi-hat which plays this pattern, basically just to support the first hi-hat, kinda just to give a little bit more bounce. For the processing, I don't do anything to it, and that's about it for the hi-hat. After I have this squeaky percussion sound that I've added, just to kinda have a ear candy a little bit. It sounds like this. You know, it's like this squeaky sound. And again, for the processing, nothing except the EQ. After I've added the open hi-hat, which just goes with every second snare drum, it sounds like this. Yeah. Oh, and just to tell you guys, at the background I have this crackle sample going. It's a vinyl crackle. I use it just as a texture to fill up the space in the background. You barely can hear it, but it fills up the background space, and I don't know, to me it just makes the beats feel thicker. Then I've added another crackle sound, but this one works almost like a percussive instrument because it gives a rhythmical value to the beat if you listen to it. Yeah. Moving on with the drums, I have this percussion sample which I found again in a Monte Booker pack, but this one is from Splice. It's like fantastic something loops. You can check it out for yourself on Splice. And here again I don't do anything except the EQ because it has a kick drum in the loop, so I didn't want to have that. I just wanted to have the shaker, and this is how it sounds together in the beat. Yeah, it's a very cool rhythm. Kinda gives a lot of bounce to the beat, I feel like. That's why I kinda like it. Yeah. And just to mention, here we have another hi-hat which is playing this pattern, again supporting the other hi-hats, but kind of throws in a little different rhythm. And this one is very subtle in the background, and it's also panned 25 units. I don't know which units those are, but it's panned 25 to the left, okay? It goes like you can barely hear it, okay? And the last thing that I've added for the drums is this hi-hat, and it's playing this rhythm just to give a little bit of rolls, and all together it sounds like this. So that was it for the drums. I hope you guys got some sense of what was going on there with all the patterns. If no, just stop the video and check it out in detail for yourself. After, we are moving on to the bass, which is everyone's favorite part. No, I'm just kidding. Bass is coming from this plugin called Reactor, and in Reactor you have additional plugin which is Razor 6. It's like Reactor is like a plugin host, and then you add plugins to that host like Contact, you know, and you add different libraries. It's the same idea. I've actually found out about this specific bass from YouTube video where Stu, which is the producer who works with Noah 40 for Drake and all these guys, he was explaining and breaking down one of his records, and he was showing this specific bass, and ever since I kinda stuck with it, you know, I'm always using this one. Yeah, and then I have the kick tight preset, which is just again additional saturation kind of compression preset from Ableton for the bass. Actually by default it's for the kick, but everyone is using this one for the bass. After, I have a knock which just saturates the bass even more. Then I have the utility plugin which does this little bass mono trick basically to make sure that all low frequencies stays in mono, and then at the end I just have the EQ to cut all the high end, and the bass is playing this pattern and it sounds like this. Dope. Yeah. And that's it for the beat, guys. That's pretty much all I did, but there is one more thing that I want to talk about, and it's called resampling. In Ableton you have this resampling option where you can take all your audio tracks, which we have here, basically every audio that you have in the project, and you can resample and record all together on the new audio track. And then from here you can do a lot of stuff with it, you know, you can pitch it up and down to see how the whole beat would sound in a different key, for example. That's something that I do very often, and actually very often I kinda end up using the same beat but in a different pitch, you know. It sounds pretty cool. So we can try it from here, you know. So this is our beat resampled, and then we could pitch it up like, or pitch it down a few semitones. I usually do +1 or +3 to see how it sounds. It sounds pretty dope, right? It sounds kind of brighter. This pitch almost sounds better to me. I might even leave it like this, +3 semitones, you know, why not? It sounds pretty cool. But just as an idea, I wanted to show you that you can, guys, do resampling and then maybe even chop it up, or, you know, use halftime on this one to kind of have the halftime section for the beat, or pitch it up and down. The possibilities are endless, really. And all that's left to do is maybe just to show you guys my master chain. This is the settings or plugins that I have when I export my beats. So I always always have this J37 tape saturation. I'm always using this plugin on the master with this mastering fat, tight and open preset, so you can check it out for yourself. All I do is kind of bring saturation down to 6, and by default with this preset you have this noise, vintage noise, but I don't like it, so I take it away. So that's it for J37. After I have knock again, and it just adds a little bit of punch, saturation, no sub, just a little bit of air and clipping, and it's at 50%, like 45%. I don't go all the way up with the wetness, okay? I keep it like around mid-range. After I have this glue compressor, which is Ableton stock glue compressor, and I have this soft clipping feature enabled. This compressor, he just kind of levels everything out a bit for your beat to make sure it's literally kind of glued up, you know. After I have Fab Filters limiter, and it's always with this hip hop mastering preset. And the last thing I have on the master chain is this Swiss Army knife Ableton Live stock plugin extension, which you can get for like $5. It just basically shows you the loudness levels of your beat. Like this, I know when I export, I'm trying to keep all my beats at the same levels, and this just helps me to control that. And that's it for the master chain. And this will do the video, people. That's it. I feel like this one was a quick one because the sample did all the job, you know, so I didn't have to do too much regarding the beat itself. I feel like the focus here should be on the sound selection. When you have very good loops like this, all you have to do is find the right sound to kind of keep the ambience right, you know, depending on where you try to take the beat. But for the rest, that's it really. Thank you so much for watching. If you feel like reaching out, if you have any questions or anything else, use the comment section, use the links in the description to reach out to me. If you wanna connect or whatever, feel free to do so. Okay, thank you so much for coming through. My name is Almost Famous. I'm signing out. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.